This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself.
So this dryer is scorching the clothing. Sometimes when something comes out of the dryer, it'll have burn marks on it. And this is because of a piece right here called the front bearing is getting worn out. So it's pretty easy to replace these, and it's a common problem. This is otherwise like a really good dryer. So to do that, we got it unplugged. We're gonna put our paint scraper right here, give it a whack. That should make that release like that. And we'll do the other side. There we go. Okay, now the top can hinge up out of the way. And we're going to disconnect. This is the bringing power to the front of the control panel, but you have to take the control panel off. Sometimes there'll be a zip tie here, so you just want to break that zip tie so this is freed up. And there's a couple of Phillips head screws that we have to take out, one here and one over on the other side, and then the front panel can come off, and that's kind of where that felt bearing lives. We have a Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to zip this one out. That little screw, Phillips head, other side. All right. That little screw comes out. Got that. And then this front panel can come off. It has a couple of clips holding it. So you grab the top and pull back. And then these clips let go. And then you're going to lift this up off of the bottom clips. Comes right off. And it could give you a chance to clear out some of the lint in there too. So this part here is called the front bearing, and this thing is what's causing the scorching. You get kind of this rusty appearance. That's just because this thing is worn out. This is where there's a lot of weight put on here, and this is supposed to be much thicker, but it's really worn down over the years. So we're just going to replace this. Pretty easy to do. What we want to do is get this off by breaking the contact cement. There's a little bit of the contact cement that's holding it on. So you put a paint scraper underneath. Standard head screwdriver could be used to give you a little more leverage just to start it. I think once you get it going, it comes off a little bit easier. There we go. You can see that old glue underneath there. And you want to try to dig in there and get rid of as much of that felt as you can, because you don't really want that on there for when you glue on the new one. Alright, starting to come off. So I'm kind of using this like a lever to help break that glue bond. Now it's coming off. It's just some remnant parts there. Okay, we're going to see if we can get some of this off before we put on the contact cement. You can see that you have to kind of chip it off. This is the old front bearing. You could also use a wire brush. Help remove some of that just leftover felt. Our new part, number 53039371139, and comes with a little bit of contact cement. So what we're going to do is coat this surface on the front panel with contact cement, and we're going to coat the underside too. And then we'll let it dry for a little bit until it's tacky. Alright, so we're just going to put a little bit underneath this one, because this one came loose too. Going to go back and forth. I'm going to put a little bit on the underside of this felt piece that came loose and let it dry to where it's tacky. Alright, and I'm going to coat underside of this one. Kind of the same fashion, so you just go back and forth. You don't have to hit all the surface area. This stuff dries to be really strong. There we go. I just like to put a little extra on the ends and the middle. Okay, just going to let that dry for about 10 minutes. A little more in the middle. Alright. While it dries, you can get rid of some of the lint buildup that's normal for the dryer to experience. A lot of times it's right here. You can just reach in and grab the lint. Careful, sometimes there's some sharp things that get in there too. And doing this really helps the dryer to dry much faster, because you're just allowing for better airflow. And get rid of some of the stuff that builds up inside the dryer too. This does not look too bad, but getting rid of this stuff, especially in the blower fan assembly, is good, because it reduces how well the dryer can get rid of the moisture when it dries, because a clean dryer just has better airflow. We also worry that if we get a whole bunch of lint, that it could catch fire, and usually those fires are very fast and brilliant, but they typically don't catch on other structures, and unless there's just a ton of lint. This has probably been building up for about 3 or 4 years, so not too bad. But after maybe 15 years, could be a lot. Just want to feel if this is kind of tacky. It's been after about 10 minutes, so it shouldn't come off on your finger. And now we're going to take the new bearing and see these glides. You want them to be pointing in toward the front panel. You put these in, so not going in toward the dryer, but going toward the front of the dryer. I'm going to push this one down in, and we kind of push it in too against this rim. Push this felt piece back down. And I'm going to put some downward pressure for about 4 or 5 minutes while this sets up. And this surface right here of the tumbler or the drum is going to ride on top of here. But when this surface gets reduced way down, what ends up happening is clothing gets caught between here, the bottom, and here because there's too much of a gap. So we're basically getting rid of that gap. Here I'm going to push in on these to open up these little squares. That's where the air has to flow through. Filter, pull that out. I have to clean that one. And I'm going to come in with a brush behind, see if I can get rid of some of this stuff. I'm also going to clean this moisture sensor here. Sometimes it gets a waxy buildup. Okay. Alright, so this is on there nice and tight, nice and dry. This is the front bearing, and we're going to now put this back on its bottom clips. So we've got one here, one here. Feed those on. Looks good. Start closing this. I'm going to feed this inside so it doesn't get caught here. And then we have to lift the drum on top of its new bearing. We're lifting up, pushing the bearing front panel in, and give it a little heel hand here to click it. Alright, that's on top of the bearing. You can see how that spins on top of the bearing. I'm going to put in those 2 screws. Start that one by hand. Okay. Is that one screw? Here is the other one. That. I'm going to put these power connector back. So there's 4 possibilities. Let's flip it around until it goes back in. And make sure these click on. Nice and tight. Alright, we're going to add a zip tie here to keep this from touching the drum. Okay, tighten up that zip tie. Got that really out of the way, that's good. Okay, let's see how it does. Good. All right. So it's nice and level now. Okay, close the top. set.
Thanks so much for watching our video. We really appreciate your support. And when you get a chance, please press the subscribe button below so you can be subscribed, and also the notification bell so we can send you more videos about appliance repair. Please also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you really liked the video and it really helped you, please press this new applaud button and you can show your support and also get a nice clapping hands for your video. Thanks again.